doing well.
So we still have a bunch of people coming in right now. This is fantastic. Come to us.
We're just tired. I just want to sit down.
So we'll give you all a couple of minutes and then we'll start. And I'll start with a couple of questions and then we'll take it out to the audience and my lovely assistant, Wall, who is all about the Stevie Nicks today because of reasons. It will bring her microphone over to you so you can ask questions. Just twirl.
That was nice. We can do the wave while we're waiting.
Yeah. There was a line outside.
That was good. It was a nice start. We had a one-seat wave. That was amazing.
And make as much room as you can, squeeze in, because it looks like we still have people coming in. We'd love to have everybody have a seat.
Just to check, this is Knights of Columbus meetings, right? Everybody knows where you're at.
You're funny.
I'm so tired. How work is coming. My id is on complete, like, you know.
It's going to be a fun panel. All right, I think, yes. Okay, we shall start. So my first question is going to be for Alexandra. I wanted to ask you, actually, I'm going to ask both of you this question. How was American Horror Story told to you? What was the pitch when you got told about this? How did they describe it? Because it's something that's never really been done before.
I didn't get a pitch. I just auditioned for it when it was a pilot. So they gave me 3 pages of one scene, which is the scene where Moira comes into the office dusting and proceeds to do what she does best. And I was given this scene and I thought, this is fascinating. I've never played a character like this before. I knew that they were going to show the older version of Moira, but I wasn't entirely sure what that meant. They told me she was a ghost, and that was about it. They were like, here's a scene, go have fun. And I had fun, and they hired me. So that's how that happened. And then I read the script, and I was really happy I got the job.
I was approached by Ryan Murphy. He called my agent, but wouldn't tell my agent anything. And they were like, no, he'll only talk to Dennis about this. And so my agent said, do you want to talk to him? I was like, absolutely. And so he told me, basically, it's going to be a show where we're going to do a different like ghost story or horror story every year, and you guys will play different characters every year, which had never happened before. So I'm like, so we're playing each other's characters every year? I'll play someone else's character? Because no, the characters will stop existing every year. So then what do we do the next year? You'll play a new character. What is that? I don't know. Okay, sure, I'll do it. But I was with a leap of faith, and I love the idea of, Ryan is really good at creating a quick character sketch that is full of inspirational ideas. So he said, Larry is someone who half his face is burnt off, and he did it for love. Go. And that's what you get every year. You get basically a little thumbnail sketch. And so I was like, I'm totally in. Anything that's weird, I will do. Anything that's bizarre, I will do. Yeah.
Really?
Pretty much.
All right.
Yeah.
There are kids here.
Yeah.
For this, I mean,
Well, yeah, I guess at this
not
point.
too young, I hope.
Yeah. So, in regards to Moira, how did you and Frances, how did you communicate with that character? Because you're both playing her at the same time.
I've been asked this before, and I always feel bad giving this answer because it seems like something we really should have got together and had like a big character study.
But there's no time. It's not like you have time.
There's no time to do it. I didn't have her phone number. We just sort of show up, and then that is what it is. I did watch her during scenes, where they flash back and forth, and there was no way for me to play the younger version of Moira and act like the older version of Moira, the way that Franny played her. It was just, so we were playing her as two separate people, really, because it was different versions of the same person. So
Do you guys worked in the same day sometimes?
yeah, we did.
Like the scene in the basement, your favorite scene in the world with Amir.
Yes.
Yeah, Amir Aronson, who went on to do the Blacklist.
Yes.
Became, quite big.
Yes.
But yeah, you guys were at the same day that one.
We were, and you were there as well.
I was there as well.
Yeah.
I put a bag around his head and killed him.
Yeah, after I chomped down on
bobbited
his,
him.
I Lorena bobbited with.
Those of you who remember that.
Yes.
Slight laughs about the older generation. People over 30, I mean.
So, Dennis, in regards to the best character, I love Liz. How? But how was that to create that character? Because it just was such a beautiful story in such a psychotic place, but you made it just so beautiful. I bawled so much, and I just got to know, how did she come to exist?
You know, Ryan never hands you a fully written character. We don't get scripts. Some seasons you get like 3 or 4 scripts in a row. Some seasons you get 1. Hotel, I think you got maybe 1 or 2 scripts. But the point is, they don't know where they're going with any character. So they only give you as much as they know. And then they sort of figure it out as they're going along, but they also respond to what we're doing. I'll never forget the very first day we were shooting, Ryan shot the pilot of Hotel, and I wanted to dress up for rehearsal, because I believe as an actor you discover who you are physically as much as anything else. So I wanted to be in the heels, I wanted to be in everything. So I walked onto set in character and basically like, hello, 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 run away. And I was walking through and I had this big turquoise thing on, and Ryan said, are you wearing that? I said, yes. He goes, I love that. Walk for me. So I started walking, and because of that, he sort of had an idea about the opening sequence, which is me walking down the hallway with this thing flowing. So he got that inspiration from seeing the costume on set during rehearsal. Once you rehearse, there's not a whole lot of time to go back and reimagine things. So I'm really glad I did that. But those little weird sort of, what, did we say something? We're losing them.
I was fascinated.
Anyway, clearly. But you know, you get little pieces of information and you try to do what you can. For instance, Larry in season 1, you know, I had a monologue about killing my wife and my kids, which was a lie, which I didn't know. I thought it was the truth. It's what's written. It wasn't until episode 6 I find out it was a lie. And I said to Ryan, well, who killed them? He was like, you'll find out. I said, well, who burned me? He was like, you'll find out. You know, we don't know this stuff. So you end up kind of like playing everything and nothing. With Liz, I began to understand pretty early on that she was transgender, and I didn't know that at first. I thought she was more of a drag queen or performer, and that was a very key piece of information to get. That I wish I had known earlier, but the rest of it was just an unfolding.
So how difficult is it to make a show like this when you don't have that information? Is it, I mean, it kind of helps you as an actor. It just seems like that.
I think it happens a lot on television, specifically because they'll map out certain key points of how they want the season to go, but all of those little bits and pieces aren't necessarily written from the beginning, and as the show develops, they decide to do different things and go in different directions with characters, and so it's not like a movie where it's all just there for you. You have to go along with it and be able to mold your performance based on where they choose to take it. But sometimes, yes, it's like, oh gosh, I wish that I would have known that I was abused, or something like that. Where that's like very important bit of information to know, but you just got to go with it, yeah.
Well, one of the best explanations I ever heard about it was someone who said that people in real life don't know where they're going. They have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. So these are just characters who don't know where they're going tomorrow. So they get the information as you all get your information. That being said, there are some funny things. Thaisa Farmiga in the first year didn't know she was dead for 3 episodes. Lafayette from True Blood was meant to be killed off very early on in the series, but a combination of Nelson's incredible performance and personality and the audience's response, they were like, he's not going anywhere. So it's funny how TV works. And our show, American Horror Story, we were shooting while it was showing. So we'd usually be 7 episodes ahead, maybe. But we were making it while it was showing, so they could get sort of feedback, real-time feedback from the audience, which I think is a pretty cool way for you guys to actually have an input.
So before I hand it off to the audience, I have to ask each of you, what was your favorite scene to shoot as your character? And you've got multiple ones, but and you do too.
I have less to draw from.
It's all gold.
Oh, Dennis. Should I answer first? Well, a favorite scene to shoot? Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, my first scene not my first scene, I guess it was the second scene in the pilot that I auditioned with was probably the most fun. My least favorite scene was I had to sit in this sex swing. I don't know if you remember this. I was in a red teddy, and I had to like rock back and forth towards Amir, the actor, and this is in his fantasy, and he's wearing little tighty whities only, and his character's supposed to be so douchey and disgusting, and he was playing that, and I was just like having to rock back and forth towards him in his teddy, and I was like, oh. I was like, when do I get to go home? I needed a shower after that, yes.
Huh, mine was also a sex scene.
There's a lot of those on the show.
I've had one of the worst sex scenes ever in American Horror Story, and one of the best. The worst was in Coven. It got cut, so I don't think it even exists anywhere.
Yeah.
But it was Madison and I, Emma Roberts, who is a total delight. But the scene was, she was trying to prove how much she hated life. So what's the worst possible thing she could do to make herself feel really valueless? Have sex with Spaulding. So she comes up to my room and rapes me, basically, even though I'm on top. And sorry, it's American Horror Story. But
that's what you're gonna get if you're gonna come in here.
Well, and the whole scene basically
okay.
was how bored she was with me. So I'm like working away, and she literally was smoking a cigarette, and looking at the ceiling, and it was a difficult scene to shoot. I was so happy when Ryan cut it. I didn't know he cut it until we're watching that night. I'm watching like. And we got beyond it, and I thought, wait a minute, how did that scene came before she goes to Evan Peters' room? Wait a minute. And then they cut it. I was very, very happy. And the converse was the scene with Tristan, Finwood Rock, the sex scene. And it wasn't so much the sex part of it that made me so happy. It was, the scene itself was so beautiful. It was a really complicated, beautiful, beautiful scene. And it's what's so good about American Horror Stories that the writing has real depth. So at one point I'm talking to Tristan and he says, "Do you love me?" And my line is, "Yes." I didn't do it like that. I'm like, yes! Not like that. Yeah, like that. But
Oh dear.
It's all right. It's therapy. But the beautiful thing about the scene was not that I said yes. It was Tristan's need to be loved. And just watching Finn deliver that line a certain way, I was like, it was just a beautiful human thing. Here's this gorgeous model with the transgender character in bed asking, do you love me, with a certain kind of desperation. It was really interesting. But the whole scene was like that. It was so multi-layered. I just loved it.
It's beautiful. I do have to say, you, Kathy Bates, going to Boondock Saints. That was fantastic. And yes.
Every scene with Kathy was fun.
All right, guys, so we're going to go out to the audience now and raise your hands high for questions. Right here.
Stevie Nicks to the rescue.
Well, my question was, how was it working with Kathy Bates, and what was your favorite part about just being with her? Is she a nice person? Is she really as crazy as she was in Misery?
She's really funny. She's really, she's kind of like the life of the party when she walks in. She really sort of takes over a room. She's really nice to the crew, which to me is a sign of a really great person, because the crew is not always treated like, you know, an equal player in the room, and she's always very careful about that. She's actually fun to be around, and she's devoted to the work. She shows up ready to go, and you know, she works really, really hard through some physical challenges. I admire her.
Go for it, right here.
Hello. What I want to ask is, what would be your guys' dream season? Like, theme that you like to see on the show?
I know, I always have a hard time coming up with an answer to this. Yes, he has a good answer.
I want one backstage at the opera, because I just feel like the opera is a great setting for all kinds of, you know, backstage in front of house. Is it real? Is it not real? Phantom of the Opera. What's living in the basement? People who think they're the characters and they've lost their minds. Plus, I'm an opera geek, so it'd be great to actually hear some great singing. It'd be fun.
I can sing opera.
Go for it.
No, I know.
Right here in the front.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I apologize, I'm losing my voice, but I'm here. So, do you have any plans for Jessica Lange to come back on the show?
What? Jessica Lange? What'd you say? I have no idea what she's doing.
How was it working with her?
Oh, she was fantastic. I wish I had more scenes with her. She was always lovely to work with.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what she's doing. I mean, she did Feud. Have you watched Feud?
I watched the first episode of that. I really liked it.
Who knows? You know, once you're in Ryan's world, you tend to stay in Ryan's world, in whatever permutation. So I wouldn't be surprised if she stays in his orbit, whatever that means.
Right there. The Captain Spaulding t-shirt.
The man in the black t-shirt.
Do either of you guys know if you'll be in the next season?
No, I don't know. I'm working on This Is Us, I think. I hope. I mean, they definitely left room for that. I will be on the Paramount lot if they choose to shoot there again.
You know, every season is sort of up for grabs. Ryan likes to do a combination of the old traditional stalwarts and some new people. Like, you know, we had Chaz Bono last year as a new addition to the cast, which was amazing. And Robin Weigert, who was also an amazing actor in years past. You know, Matt Bomer joined us for seasons 3 and 4 and 5, or I'm sorry, 4 and 5. And then Wes Bentley was in 4, 5, and 6. So it's kind of an overlapping world where a lot of people get asked back. I know Franny was not a lot in season 2, but she had a couple episodes, and she was in last year as well, in Roanoke. So people are always, depending on availability. American Horror Story shoots from June to about October, or July to November, or August to December. Yeah.
There in the back.
Hello, my name's Amber, and I just want to ask, what is your least favorite season of American Horror Story? Because personally, my least favorite season was this past season, Roanoke. I thought it was stupid.
If I had 6 kids, would I really tell you which is my least favorite child?
Oh, being an
No,
employee.
I can't have that on film anywhere. You're funny. Sorry.
The great thing about American Horror Story is that it's not even that each season is better or worse than the other. They're all so different that you're going to find certain people who respond to it no matter what. You know, the folks, seriously, the folks who love Asylum hate Coven. The folks who love Coven cannot stand Freak Show. People who love Murder House love Hotel. It's like this weird, like, you know, these kind of like factions. So there is a Roanoke faction. You're out there, folks. I know you are. And, you know, we can't disrespect them.
So,
I hear you.
what do you think about the new season's theme? The election.
Oh.
Hasn't it been done already? Didn't we do it November 8th?
It's still going, unfortunately.
I mean, Ryan, I think, said that he wants to do it about the election, but I think he also said he didn't want to use real characters. So he said it wouldn't be Trump and Clinton, for instance. God knows what that means. I mean, they're just so thinking about it.
I'm sure he'll parallel it in a really interesting, smart, you know.
Yeah, you wouldn't want it to be real characters, because then it would just be impersonation. I guess the idea is to make it like a parallel world of some kind. It'd be more interesting. I think it'd be more compelling for people.
I'm in an American Horror Story right now.
Which one?
After the election. That's all I have to say about that.
Okay, lady in a nice purple shirt.
I felt your shirt. I felt your coat.
It's really soft.
It's very soft.
My name is Devin. I actually met both of you this past weekend. But my favorite season was season 2, Asylum. Has Ryan...
Now, as an Asylum lover, I had to ask you, so then what's your next favorite season? I mean, the whole season, by the way.
It honestly has to be Freak Show.
Yeah, but not Coven, right?
Coven's down there a little
I'm
bit.
telling you, it always works this way.
But has Ryan Murphy ever mentioned about doing a space theme, touch back on the aliens, why they were even in season 2 to begin with? 'Cause I know
You mean
like,
doing more of an alien season?
Yeah, because I know he tries to connect seasons. I want a space theme or something. I love space.
Arrival.
Yeah.
You know what? God knows what's in Ryan Murphy's head. Only he knows. It is a place of incredible wonder and terror. And I'm sure he's got a master plan. I really do. And if he thinks he can exploit alien abduction again, it will happen.
Alrighty, over here in the corner.
Hi, I'm Miranda. I would like to know if you have a particular character that disturbed you or that you really connected with. Bloody Face and the clown still make me run through my house at night.
You don't have one?
I have to think.
I definitely, you're right about Bloody Face. I mean, Zach Quinto's character, yes, that's the earlier version was pretty disturbing. I thought Ian McShane's Santa Claus was pretty awful in a good way. I'm trying to think of who else. I like Dandy, sorry. And I like Twisty. I thought the Twisty backstory was beautiful. I don't know, and John Kerr Lynch is such a great guy. It's hard to diss him. Let me think. So that's a big question. You have to give us a moment here. Come on.
That's why you looked at me, you're like, I equally have to think about it, but I don't have a good answer. You always have better answers than me.
Oh.
This is why I love doing panels with you. I could just be like, Dennis? I sound smart too, right?
I can't think of anybody else. There's so many awful characters. I didn't like the doctor in Asylum, James Cromwell's character. He was pretty unredeemable. Nothing you like about him. He was pretty awful. And when they cut off Chloe Sevigny's legs, I was like, I'll never get that image out of my head. Thank you very much. Awful.
You've been disturbed by so many characters on the show, and so many scenes. Just give me the shivers. So I can't pick one. That's like asking me to pick.
Well, the mattress man. The mattress man. Have you seen the mattress man? The mattress man. Where's the baby? The mattress man.
No.
So we've been teased that a future season will be a crossover between Coven and Murder House. I was curious if you guys would be obviously willing to return, and also what you think would be like happening that kind of season between the two seasons.
I've heard that too from people. I don't know.
Ryan mentioned it.
Did he?
Yeah.
He hasn't called me, so. I would be willing to play Moira again. I'd have to start doing Pilates or something.
You're ignoring your character in Coven.
My character, Moira's way more fun than
No,
that.
but what was that character's name?
Kaylee?
She was a witch, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was cool because she could, light people on fire when she got pissed, but she was kind of a dum-dum. Right? Do you
She
remember
got killed by Josh Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But she was kind of a dum-dum. She's like, not that it's bad to get married, I'm married myself. She's like, I just want to get married, and I don't care about anything else. I was like, okay, great. Moira has a little bit more depth, I think, so, yeah. I would, yes.
I mean, a crossover would be, I don't know what he means by that. It'd be interesting to see where the setting would be. Would that be set in New Orleans in the witch's house, and then it becomes haunted like Murder House? It'd be interesting. We're all up for it. But also, we don't know if we play both of our characters. But I have to play Spaulding and Larry at the same time. Larry got his tongue cut out. How does that work? Spaulding is burned.
A lot of time in the makeup.
It's all a lot of makeup. That's all I can say.
Sarah Paulson, man, she marathon 3 characters at one time.
Last, yeah, in Hotel she played Billy, the psychic. She came back, and then she played Sally, Hypnotist Sally, and then last year she played Lana, came back, and then she also played 2 versions of her other character. Yeah, yeah.
As actors in American Horror Story, you've certainly had some horrifying situations, but what I wondered is, are you, outside of the show, actual horror movie fans? And if you are, what are your favorite horror movies?
I grew up, I loved The Shining. That was the first horror film. Actually, it might have been Night of the Living Dead now that I think about it. It was one or t'other. I loved The Shining. My mother let me watch it on television when I was 8 years old. Which is fine, because I'm fine now. And I loved Rosemary's Baby, and so many classic horror films. In my older age, it's hard for me to watch a lot of gore. I think after having a child, I'm a little bit more sensitive to things. But those were my favorites. And I'll just put on The Shining and fall asleep to it. It's weird.
I'm more sci-fi, and and I read a lot of sci-fi, and so I'm kind of the aliens route, Matrix, sorry, at least one or two of them. But I'll watch The Matrix anytime it's on TV, I'll just watch it. I don't care if Keanu Reeves is in it or not, I'll just watch it. But I was raised on things like the old Vincent Price, Peter Lorre movies, Boris Karloff. I love the old vampire stuff. I love it. The Pissy Pendulum, The Black Cat. I love Peter Lorre, anything he does. Peter Cushing. And then also when I was about, I don't know, 12 or 13, I saw a movie called The Conqueror Worm with Vincent Price, which is about the Salem witches. Really disturbing. And then a movie called The Frogs with Ray Milland, which is emblazoned in my brain. I think it was really, really bad, but I just loved it. Who else is in it? The Bird, oh, of course, The Birds, which is kind of like, that's a weird, is that horror, is that not horror? I mean, Hitchcock's a whole different thing, but yeah. Great question.
Frog with the hand hanging out of its mouth for eating.
Yeah. Oh, and Ben, remember Ben?
Willard.
And Willard. Oh my God, I forgot about those.
Right here in the back.
Hi. Across all of the 6 seasons, what are your favorite death scenes of any of the characters?
It's a dark panel.
It's a dark show.
You know, I mean, not to be self-referential, but I did love Stanley's demise. It wasn't really a death scene because he didn't die, but he should have. I mean, it's a fate worse than death to be reduced to a small chicken. But I think that was a pretty brutal and terrifying ending to come to. I'll keep thinking. What's yours? Come on.
I'm having a really hard time thinking because I haven't watched the show in a minute. Like in the last couple of years, I just had a baby, obviously. While I was pregnant, and then since I just I can't watch anything of the horror ilk because I'm like really.
I thought Patty DuPont was pretty awful in Coven. Didn't she eat a box of borax, chlorine or bleach or something like that? She foamed at the mouth and was burnt from the inside. That's pretty bad.
I thought the shooting scene, the school shooting, that entire sequence was one of the most terrifying things.
Which one? Sorry?
The shooting scene, the school shooting, where in the first season, it was one of the most horrifying. Yeah. Oh my God, that was that stuck with me.
Terrible.
I was just going to say that's probably the one that sticks with me the most is Taste, though.
I think when Taissa dies in the tub, when you find out that she died, I think I cried a little bit. I was really disturbed by that.
And I think we have a lady right there, and then we'll get to you. Right there.
Hi, I was just wanting to know any off-scene or off-camera stories to tell at all? Any funny stories?
You're looking at me like I know something.
It's crazy, you know. I'll say this: is that we always have a good time. I mean, it's really hard work, but we all love each other, and we all really, really have a good time. There are some days when it's just miserable. It just is miserable. I go back to Freak Show. The last Freak Show, I wasn't in the last episode, but the way the schedule broke down, I had to shoot the very last shot of the very last day, which meant I was hanging around New Orleans waiting, and that last shot was rain and mud and being chased by all the freaks and mutilated. And it was a long night. It was like 4 in the morning, and it really was miserable. We were wet the whole day. The mud was everywhere. You couldn't get it out of your clothes and your shoes. And everybody was tired and cranky because it was the last day of shooting. And those are really hard moments. But even within those moments, I remember some beautiful things, like Rose, who's no longer with us, who played the one character on the skateboard. Her son was there. because I was about 12 at the time, and I remember him just falling asleep in the tent, in the circus tent. I took a picture of him falling asleep. It was just a beautiful moment in the middle of all of this chaos. And there's always those beautiful moments like that. You know, the times you're just hanging out with somebody and having a conversation is kind of great.
I think we had one right here.
So that's a lovely answer, Dennis. But I just remember shooting the scene where Moira bites off the head of the, and I kept having to spit out this piece of banana that was covered in blood, and Ryan wanted Franny to do it, Princess Conroy, and she said no. And I was like, I'll do it. I will do it. So, yeah, I couldn't eat a banana for a while. Truly, after that scene. So it was really awkward in between takes.
Speaking of Franny, we have Franny right there. Season 3. But asking for the worst deaths, Getting her eyeballs gouged out was pretty bad. Oh no, she did it to him.
So, of all of the antagonists, who would you go on a date with, and why?
Now the whole series are antagonists. So which ones do you mean?
So like, we'll say original Bloody Face Zachary Quinto, or Candy, or Twisty,
Or Tate?
Just like the main focal point.
Right. Well, mine would be Dandy. That's easy. Come on, say Tate.
That's what, yeah, well, most people would say that. He was not a good egg, though.
No.
Fine, I'm just gonna, because, if I was a teenager, then that's who I would go on a date with. Right? All teenage girls would go on a date with Kate. Obviously.
If Lost Please Return to Evan Peters is right there, I'm
I know.
Oh, that's very cute. Very cute.
Hi Dennis, hi Alex.
Hi.
Had the pleasure of meeting both of you over the weekend, and I told you I'm a Truby and just love True Blood. I love the 5th season of American Horror Story Hotel. Just love the whole vampire vibe. Dennis, I just wondered what it was like working with Lady Gaga, the Countess.
She was great. She did 2 things that really impressed me early on. One was she would hang out on the set with everybody and seem comfortable with everybody, which is a really great measure of someone, because she wasn't hanging out in her trailer waiting to be called and coming to set late. She was really professional that way. And she was fun to be with. We actually had fun working together. It was actually really, really fun. And yet when she had to, she would work as hard as any of us trying to get a moment right. I was really impressed with her work ethic. I thought it was just phenomenal. Yeah.
Can I change my answer to say that I would go on a date with her?
Absolutely. We have a winner.
This question is for Dennis. Who was your favorite character to play of all the seasons you played it?
I mean, this sounds like an evasive answer, but I really did love Larry. I love Spalding. I love Liz. Liz was the most satisfying because I had a complete journey. So I got an actual backstory, I got an actual love affair, and I got a real good death. Poor Larry is in prison for a crime he didn't commit in his jumpsuit, and I kept waiting for him to have a last scene. And in fact, I think we did 12 episodes that year. We were promised 13. At the last minute, they sort of went, no, there's going to be 12. So on episode 11 or whatever, I was put in jail And I assumed I was going to be in the 12th episode. We'd go back and see him in jail, and he would be released. But I remember someone, it was actually someone's makeup artist, said to me, "Oh, so sad, you're going home." I was like, "I don't think so. One more episode." She goes, "You're not in it." I was like, "I'm not?" I don't know how she knew, but I was like, "I don't want to hear this way." And she was right. So I went back to New York. I was like, "Oh." So I kind of never felt like I got my my completion. And then with Spalding, I feel like I never really got a complete story. I wanted more information about him. So in that regard, I think Liz Taylor was the most complete character.
Hi guys. I love you guys. You guys did an amazing job in all the seasons you were in.
Thank you.
It's my question you probably won't be able to answer, but it's more of a suggestion. Is Ryan ever would be willing to put these stories in a book? I'm a big reader, and I think these stories would be awesome to read. Take that back with you.
All right. Well, maybe they can just put the scripts together in a binder.
A graphic novel? A graphic novel form? That would be interesting. Ancillary income.
Yeah.
That's a really cool idea.
Give him a call, Dennis.
Sure.
Call him, text him.
Like he picks up.
Give him a little text.
All right, so second question is, actually, when you, sir, when I told you I was going to be, or I'm planning to be a filmmaker, I'm an aspiring filmmaker, working on a script right now, and you said to hire you.
Hire me.
You better believe I'm going to call your agent, get his ass back to Cincinnati now, we're going to shoot this damn thing. My question for both of you guys would be, what is the easiest what's the easiest way in your guys' perspective for anyone trying to be a filmmaker to break out into the scene, or even as an actor? And do you guys have any tips for any of us, maybe aspiring filmmakers or actors, that could really help us?
Dennis, when did you start acting? When did you start working?
Well, I mean, I legally got my equity card when I was 27. I was a theater actor for most of my life. And I did my first ever TV thing for the new channel called Lifetime. It's brand new.
Oh, lovely.
And I played a doctor, and I had to say the word hematocrit. And I couldn't for the life of me remember it. I had to write it on my sleeve. And I was like, hematocrit? Every take, I was like, but so I got my Astra card in I was still drinking, so 1987.
Okay.
And then
whenever I think about this question, I think about how much the industry has changed since I got into it. You know, I started when I was 15, and I was underage, so I had people like my mother, and I had a manager that sort of helped me get jobs to get my union, my SAG card and all of that, which is the only way that you can work on union shows and movies and stuff. So at this point, it's so different because the unions have merged. Not that I don't think that really has anything to do with anything. I don't know why I said that, but I think it is harder to get roles in television than it used to be, even though there is more television, because they're constantly trying to get people from film into television series and whatnot. So I always have a hard time answering this question because I don't know how you would break into the industry at this point.
Well, I do think that, you know, the great thing is you can make content whenever you want to. So many YouTube stars have crossed over now into legit work. Not that it's not legit. Legit is an actual term that means, what the agents in the industry consider to be real film work. They're now courting the YouTube stars. So Disney scours YouTube channels and looks for anyone with more than 1 million hits or subscribers, and they try to co-opt them. So, any one of you can literally make your own YouTube channel and get a following, and you could be the next breakout star, seriously, at any age, by the way, which I think is really exciting. And I just shot my movie called The Parting Glass. I've been trying to get it made for 5 years. I wrote it in 2011, and it takes a long time to get things made. I can't go to crowdsourcing, I can't go to crowdfunding, because people will get mad at me. If I go onto Kickstarter, they'll be like, why are you taking our money? This is not people like you, but it's so hard to get movies made. I'm trying to tell you that to get my movie made took 5 years of pleading and cajoling. But I also wanted to do a union. And I'm a huge believer in unions for a really simple reason, because they protect you. If we did not have unions, they would work us 23 hours a day. We would not get fed. We would not get breaks. We would not have safe places to work. We would not, I'm telling you, they save our asses. Producers will do anything to get their movies made. So I wanted to go the union route for my movie, which meant it was more expensive. You can make movies non-union. You can make a movie non-union right now, like that. Get a camera, go out, start shooting. And I think it's amazing that that exists, that you can do that. I think the only impediment is your imagination, seriously. You can do it. I would just say start doing it. Just start making content.
See, that was a better answer.
Different.
A better answer. It's good.
Who, Grace? Grace Cotting.
Hi. First of all, I like Roanoke, and for all of you who don't like it, don't be a hated dear. And your performance as Lois was just so moving.
Thank you.
And I thank you for that, and the writing was wonderful too. But I was just wondering, it was one of the 2 moments that I cried in American Horror Story. What are some performances that have touched you, both of you?
I love Constance from season 1. I thought Constance was an amazing character, Jessica Lange's character. When her daughter got hit by the car and she ran out to the street, that to me was, because this is a character who is, said the wrong things, used awful language, was cruel, was heartless, and yet seeing that person's humanity and seeing them losing something that just rocked their world, I thought was such a beautiful moment. And that's why I think American Horror Story is addictive, because it isn't simply shallow horror. People have real lives that you care about. And so that to me was a great moment of Constance.
I love everything Jessica Lange has ever done or will do. She can do no wrong. So every character she's played, and I wish she was still on the show.
How about yours? Do you have one in mind? At the end of Asylum? Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Got one in the back. We got a couple more questions, and then we'll have to wrap it up.
Hello. I was just wondering, I guess this question's more for Dennis. On a future season, who would you want to guest star on the show?
Oh, gosh. Let me think. One of my favorite actors in the world is a woman named Linda Eamon, who you probably don't know. She's a great theater actor and a great film actor. She was in Jules and Julia. She was The Good Wife. She played a military judge in The Good Wife. She's a fantastic actor, and I would love to see more New York actors like that, who I just feel like the world doesn't get to see as much. I'm going to keep thinking. These are hard questions. Keep thinking.
That's why I'm
Did you?
can we get Gary Oldman? Is that not gonna
Fantastic
happen?
idea. It's a great idea.
He might do it.
Yes, yeah.
He might.
Raise and she'll come over back to sleep.
I have to say one of my favorite aspects of American Horror Story is the music, especially Hotel. I think my 19-year-old self just squealed with delight with all the gothic, wonderful music. But anyway, I'd like to get your opinion. What are some of your favorite seasons as far as the music or any particular pieces that resonated with you or your characters that you were playing at the time?
I mean, I love Betty Davis' eyes, and they use that in the transformation scene for Liz Taylor. I thought that was a great marriage of those two things. And you know, Ryan has really got his finger, I think, on the pulse when it comes to music. Obviously, Glee, but I love his supervision of the music is really well done. We do have composers who write music, so all the incidental music is written. I think that theme is crazy. It gets into your blood. I love the Coven theme music. I couldn't sing it right now to save my life, but there's a lot of ha 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 ha. I loved it. Can anyone sing it? Remember the Coven? You got it going on.
All right, we have time for one last final question. Let's see. Raise your hand high. Oh, Hunter Thompson.
Hunter Thompson, very good.
Right there.
The flies water.
Nice.
I think you guys are great, but my friends over here absolutely love you. And could you just like say hi to them? You might cry looking at them.
Well, what are their names?
This is Aggie and this is Savannah.
Hi, Aggie.
And Savannah.
Hi, Samantha.
Savannah? Samantha. Hi.
Hi.
Samantha? Oh, what's
Savannah.
Is this working? Here. Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hi. We love you.
Oh, you
Don't cry.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's all okay.
I think you can't end it on a better note than that. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys.